Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. So, yeah, it's been a while, but here it is, another Naval War Thunder video, and it is the HMS Cadiz, which is for this Battle Pass one of the premium rewards. And honestly, usually I say bad because British, but this ship, if you use it correctly, is actually not all that bad. And unironically, before I started my gaming day, for the first time in quite a while, I made myself a big cup of tea, and I'm enjoying it, just like the ship, because it is something different from my usual Moffett gameplay. But to be honest, the one thing that is holding this ship back from having a verdict very good is the existence of the Moffett. The Moffett is the gold standard, and there is nothing wrong with it. So I think we should really take everything into consideration. This is not a proper review. There are many statistics I could throw at you, but let me just summarize that the torpedoes are really potent. The range, the speed, and the TNT yield are really cruiser killers. And you have a proximity fuse HE shell with a good yield and also a decent sap. Although it's not the very best sap, it is still decent. And that is combined with a lot, and I mean a lot, of 40mm quick firing stock Mark II guns and Mark VII guns, which are distributed basically all over the ship. The outstanding feature of the Cadiz is that it has its main firepower in the front in two twin turrets and nothing in the back. And the way that War Thunder is designed is that very often you are bow in, and bow in you are a small target, and the only thing that the enemy basically can hit is your front, and that means you have a more than average survivability in that bow in playstyle. And that's the trick to the ship. There is not really any substantial armor plating. If you show broadside, the majority of your ammo rack is easily hittable, and you're basically a one-shot, and you get the extra special hood feeling if you show broadside. So go bow in. It will not save you when you get shot from cruisers, or when there is a Moffett that really has good aim, or you get shot repeatedly, but it just enhances your survivability and the time you can dish out some damage. And that's really the trick, because if you can make those torpedoes work, if you can make your guns work, you kill a lot of stuff, you cap, and you win the game. You're actually looking at a very good modifier. With a premium account, it is 1065%, so that's a 3.55 modifier times 2, because this is actually a premium, battle rating 4.7 and rank 3, so it's actually a decent entry into the Royal Navy Blue Water Fleet. Now, a lot of the British destroyers are like that, and to be honest, when a lot of people are tryharding, it's not a good experience. But for this, just to chill around and kill some bots, farm some AI, cap some stuff, shoot up enemy players with bot programs, I guess. It's kind of chilling and relaxing in its own way. And 4.7, you just don't get that often the really awful maps, the big ocean circle ones. So that is also decent. Now, what about the stopping firepower of the 4.5-inch ones? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The accuracy seems actually pretty good, but in fact it's kind of average. It's just that you have all this frontal firepower. However, it's the reload that makes those guns really interesting, because it's a flat 3.0 seconds for a fully trained ace crew. The Moffett has twice the guns and 2.8 seconds of reload. That gives the Moffett, together with nastier shells and also arguably a better sap, which is in the current meta the main argument, just objectively the upper hand. Except if the Moffett throws broadside, you aim for that rear ammo rack with your sap, and you are bow in, you're playing with your speed, you're just right there with your repairs and you just know what you're doing. And then you can actually farm Moffett for days. And you also have, in fact, a better AA than the Moffett, because your guns can elevate further, so planes cannot fly over you, and instead of 20mm and 28mm with restricted firing range, you have all the 40mm. They just don't need to reload, they don't overheat, and what you're seeing right here, that's just how you do it. You stay in cover, and this is where this ship then gets some extra magic. If you can protect your hull, when you just go behind cover, you don't need to just show unnecessary amounts of your ship, because the firepower is right there in the front. And if the back of the ship doesn't get damaged, again, you have enhanced survivability. And also, as you can see, it makes actually a pretty nice gain. Now, that was without a civil line booster. That was just winning the battle and making some kills. So this battle here also was so far the best battle, and the result will really speak for itself, again, without a civil line modifier. Now let's talk about those torpedoes. What a coincidence that those are really, really nasty torpedoes, and there is in the battle pass a task where you have to kill 15 ships with a blue water fleet ship. You can do this with this ship, however, the firing angles are terrible. Not just takes it an eternity till you can swing the ship around, you basically have firing arcs like a Japanese cruiser, but even worse, even if you show your back to the enemy, the firing angles are also restricted. And funnily enough, the second launcher, the rear launcher, has better firing arcs to the front than the front launcher, which is counterintuitive. Now let's just see here in this battle scene what it actually means to have enhanced survivability. So this is a Saeta, and I am receiving some nasty missiles. Glad I'm not a Moskva, so I can tank it quite literally, and British ships are not really that famous for tanking stuff. My teammate in the back is oblivious to the presence of this bot, didn't even enter the cab. So much for bot programs. I don't know what's it, but I don't mind because I can farm just so much. Now, the damage model in Naval Forces, just to give you a raw rundown, is awkward and not really new player intuitive or new player friendly. The SAP really deals damage to internal modules, and they really bring down the crew count. But if you hit the ship repeatedly and quickly before the shell hit cam actually disappears, weird things happen, like it looks like you're doing no damage, except, you know, if you blow them up upright, which is nice. And so a lot of people shoot HE. Yes, HE is beautiful, especially the proximity fuse versus planes and patrol boats and unprotected superstructure of cruisers, etc. But versus destroyers and anything with armor, use the SAP. And I shall demonstrate it here versus this patrol boat. It also can work. Maybe I would do more damage with the HE, but to be honest, I don't care. I'm pretty sure I get the kill. Switch targets, and there is the kill. And we can continue shooting at the K2, which is quite resilient, I'd say. Now, the problem with this SAP is the following. It doesn't have all that much penetration. The Moffett has the advantage of having a high pen, low yield shell that has around 900 grams of TNT and 150 millimeters of penetration. Here on the 4.5 inch SAP for the HMS Cadiz, we are looking at 117 millimeters at point blank range, and at 5,000 meters only 77 millimeters and 910 grams of TNT. Now, versus a lot of cruisers and their broadside, that's not enough to really bring in that firepower, and you kind of feel that. So this is where the Moffett actually has the advantage. The Moffett also has the anti-fragmentation armor, which is stupidly effective in absorbing HE damage still to this day. Now, to summarize this ship, the gimmick is the frontal firepower, and it is not that easy to make it work, but when it works, it's nice. You have really potent AA, both with your 40mm and with your 4.5 inch or 114mm proximity fuse TNT shells, HE shells, which have a decent yield of 2.3 kilograms. And you have also a high rate of fire, and you can sustain that firepower more than the Moffett, which at some point drops at the lower rate of fire when the ready rack is used up. And here is the Civiline reward, as I was saying, 200,000 Civilines without a Civiline booster, just a premium account winning that game and doing a lot of damage to naval targets and killing a lot of ships. And that's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Why not give it a like? For you it's just a click, for me it means the world. Subscribe and hit the bell for the algorithm if you want to see more. And as usual, we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies and on the waves of War Thunder.